Take two. As we were talking about, we realized that disease and illness infect our lives. And there are powers and forces that control us and make that attempt to sort of corral us. But as we see in the gospel, Jesus tells his disciples that he has come to proclaim. He has come to proclaim the coming kingdom. As we say in the Lord's Prayer, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." It's not as if we are requesting it. It will happen, but we want it to be a reality in our lives, just as Jesus was a reality in the disciples' lives. For you see, Jesus came not just for the disciples, and not just for Capernaum, but for Galilee and for the regions beyond that. Jesus came to engage and connect with all people. He wanted not only the kingdom, but he wanted his word and he wanted his ministry to make known who God was and what God was all about. And one of the greatest ways to make it known is by making it observable. That this kingdom, this word, this ministry, the healings were performative, but they were also effective. And that's ultimately the essence of God's grace, that it performs what it seeks to do, and it is effective in making change in people's lives. And it not only happens verbally, as in the proclamation and the preaching of the word, but it also happens visually, as Jesus came to touch lives and heal. But as the disciples wanted to stay put, Jesus said, no, we need to move on to other towns. Not just one town, but towns, plural. Because he knew he was ultimately going to the cross. And sometimes that demon which affected the disciples to stay put is the one that affects us. So suddenly we realize that as Jesus works in our lives, he also works to help us to realize that there are times that we need to let go of something in order to move forward. And sometimes we need to leave the past behind to enter the new future. Jesus says, I am making all things new. That includes us each and every day, but it also includes his church as he wants his kingdom to grow. So as we enter that new future, and for us at All Saints Lutheran Church, as we celebrate our 25th anniversary, it also means that we need to seek new settings and new opportunities by which God is directing us to move out from within our own four walls. That we need to see much more than just what happens to me. That really what happens to the growth of his kingdom. And yes, it calls us to move out into new towns, the next towns, to step out into. And that means we need to move and we need to meet. But even more importantly, we need to do exactly what Jesus came to do with the proclamation of the kingdom. We need to engage others, and we need to connect them. We need to connect people to Jesus. Now that's take two.